and I'm about to enter the bite zone and get sprayed with acid by the world's largest ant. Right there, my finger, guys, on 3. There may be some blood involved. Ah! All right, guys, in this video, I am on the hunt for the world's largest ant, an insect that's nearly twice as big as a bullet ant. And if I find one, my goal today is to figure out if it's twice as painful. Let's get searching. Looking for these giant ants is just gonna be a process of covering ground here at this coastal rainforest in Borneo. This area of the world is one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. There are all kinds of species that live out here, like tens of thousands of species of insects. There are countless species of frogs and lizards, a lot of snakes, and of course, even in the canopy, you could see something like an orangutan out here. This is seriously one of the coolest environments in the world to explore if you're into wildlife. But right now, all I'm into is giant ants. Let's keep our eyes to the ground so we can find one. Seems like good habitat for a big ant. Oh, here we go. Big carnivorous pitcher plants. These plants eat insects and small animals. And what they do is they actually emit a scent that will draw in the insects or some kind of creature looking for a tasty meal. This little door, like a drawbridge, will slam shut, and then that plant will seal, secrete enzymes, and digest the insect or the victim. Super cool. Great find out here looking for giant ants. But let's keep looking. I think it's starting to rain here. Rain on the canopy, but the canopy's so thick you can't feel a drop, especially when you're sweating this much. My gosh. And these ants are big, guys. Like, you will notice them. I would guess if you just stood silent in the forest, you could probably hear them walking. They're so big. Here's another trail. Way more clear. I like this trail. You guys want to take this one? Further into the forest for the giant forest ant. Oh, guys, I got an ant. I got an ant. Oh, don't lose it. I'm keeping my eyes on it. Got it. Oh, buddy. That's our first giant forest ant. But here's the thing. This is a worker ant. This ant is less than half the size of the soldier that we're trying to find. Okay, let's keep looking. Watch the pitcher plants, guys. There's lots on the trail here. Try not to step on them. Oh, I got one right there. Big ant, huge ant. It is enormous. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that ant. Are you kidding me? Wow. Whoa, it just jumped at me. All right, I gotta get in the jar. Gotta get in the jar. Okay, come on. Yes! Oh, we got one. Yes! Look at the size of that giant forest ant. Are you kidding me? Oh. That is a whopper. That is the biggest ant I have ever seen. Easily chunkier and more sizable than a bullet ant. Wow. All right, let's get somewhere. Let's get somewhere in the clearing and set up the bite table. Got one. Finally, catching that giant forest ant totally made this trip to Borneo worth it, because I gotta be honest, guys, it takes a lot of resources to travel to the other side of the world. Our adventures and your adventures can really add up, but that's where this video's sponsor, Upside, comes into play. The free Upside app earns you cash back on daily essentials like groceries, gas, and dining out. And with over 100,000 restaurants, gas stations, and grocery stores in their network, there's plenty of opportunities to earn cash back with Upside. I love earning cash back, and it's great to know that I can be earning cash back, especially when I'm traveling. And yes, guys, it is real cash back, not credits, not points, actual money. And that can come in handy with all those adventure expenses.
Top upside earners are earning as much as $300 a month. Use the code BRAVEWILDERNESS to earn an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or use this QR code to claim this offer. So download the Upside app now so you can start earning more for your next adventure. All right, back to the action.
All right, guys, sting table is set. Or by the looks of those jaws, this is a bite table. We have our 2 giant forest ants right here in each container. And the reason I wanted to bring up the smaller worker ant is just so we could see the size difference of these 2 really large insects. The soldier, easily 3 times as big, maybe 4 times. That's why we're gonna put this worker ant aside and get the cameras in close so we can take a macro look at this huge soldier. Okay, here we go. Based on everything I've been able to dig up and research, by weight, the giant forest ant of East Asia is the largest ant on Earth. You typically don't think of ants being this large. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see if this ant indeed has a stinger, to see if this is a bite and sting test or just a bite test. I can tell you right now, just by looking at those jaws, this is definitely going to be a bite test. But let's get it out of the capsule and examine it for a stinger. Look at that, you see the abdomen swing?
Oh yeah.
Can't see a stinger, but there's really only one way to find out. Almost twice the size of a bullet ant. Let's see if it packs the same punch with its stinger. 1, 2, 3. Giving it every chance. Nope, nothing. And just for clarity, guys, I already knew it wasn't gonna sting because these ants have another very unique defense mechanism. Instead of inflicting a sting on any attacker, what they actually do is secrete formic acid. When they bite, they inflict so much damage, they're able to create an open wound, and then they can paint that formic acid in the wound, and it's supposed to burn like crazy. So that is what we're gonna be testing out today on this bite sting test. A sting that's delivered by creating an open wound and then throwing acid into it. Whoa, this is gonna be one for the books. It's time. It's time to enter the bite zone and the acid zone with East Asia's giant forest ant. Here we go. All right, guys, take a look at the jaws of this ant. Seeing those jaws is sending shivers up my spine, guys. This is going to really hurt. And the thing I'm most worried about is not only how bad the bite's going to be, but how long the jaws of this ant are going to be latched onto my finger. A lot of the locals out here will call these giant forest ants suture ants because once they bite, they clamp down and do not let go. The folklore is they used to use these to close wounds. So instead of stitches or staples, they would just use the head of these massive ants. All right, guys, so like always, we're gonna rate this ant on 3 different factors: intimidation, pain, and aftermath. I think the bite of this ant is going to be immediately painful. There may be some blood involved. This is gonna be brutal. You guys ready?
We're ready, Mark.
I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the bite zone and get sprayed with acid by the world's largest ant. Right there, my finger, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. It just bit me twice. That wasn't a good bite. I gotta put it back. Hang on, I gotta get it back on. Did not lock down. Hang on. It's not the bite. All right, here we go again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. man. Wow. It definitely has the power to bite hard. All right, I gave that ant multiple chances to bite me. It does not want to bite. It gave me a warning bite on the top, another little bite. I don't know if you can see that right there on my finger. Tiny slices. The jaws are razor sharp, but it's not locking down. I'm really shocked. I'm really surprised. Like looking at this ant, I thought it was going to just savage my finger like the leafcutter ants that I've experienced in Costa Rica. But let me see if I can paint a little acid. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, there's definitely something there. Whoa, I can definitely smell it too. It's kind of like a vinegar smell, different, but that's the closest thing I can relate it to. And it burns, definitely has a burning effect. I could even see some redness. Yeah, you can see the discoloration. You getting that on camera?
Oh yeah.
It's turning like a yellow, almost like instantly turning the blood like a black brown color. Weird. That's crazy. I expected a lot more from the world's largest ant. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A little bit of a letdown, but for good measure, let's rate the giant forest ant on the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index. Roll it.
For intimidation, I can't imagine a more intimidating ant. It's literally the biggest ant based on weight in the entire world, and those steak knife mandibles, along with its bulldog reputation of never letting go during a bite, I have to award this giant forest ant a 9.2 out of 10. For pain, its jaws were sharp and easily sliced through my skin, similar to the leafcutter ants of Central America. However, this ant wasn't interested in locking down and released its bite only after a few moments. So while it was painful at first, it does not compare to those leafcutter ants. And the acid that went in the wound, let's just say the sting from that was painful, but not enough to add too much to the score. So all in all, it gets a 5.3 out of 10. The aftermath was surprising. The acid itself didn't cause any adverse inflammation or swelling, and the wounds from the bite quickly resolved and healed by the end of the day. So the real surprise here is that the world's largest ant by weight couldn't deliver much damage given every opportunity to do so. And for that, it gets a surprisingly low aftermath score of a 2.3 out of 10. And if you combine all of those scores together, the giant forest ant officially ranks at a 5.6 on the Brave Wilderness PSI.